Welcome back. We're here with Stacy from Grand Rising Wellness. Stacy, how are you?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Thank you for coming on. I'm excited and thank you for having me in your house to film the podcast. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, no problem.
So, how do the results differ if you are taking herbs and nutrition to get better and improve your health versus going to the doctor?
Well, a lot of people don't understand that root cause is what causes your illness, and a lot of that begins with the food that you eat. So, if you are consuming whole foods and you are staying away from the processed foods and you're trying to eat organic as possible, which, it's not for everyone financially to be able to afford, then your body can absorb more of the nutrients and the minerals that are in your food, where herbs actually play a really big aspect in the pharmaceutical industry. They actually can replace a lot of the pharmaceuticals. Again, don't go off your meds without speaking to a professional, and always consult an herbologist before moving on to an herb to make sure it is right for you, because not every herb is for every person, but you have the control over your diet and your food to be able to know what you are putting in your body. So if it's ultra processed and you can't read most of the ingredients and
Yes.
you don't know what they are, I would just recommend putting that back and finding something healthier. A lot of it is 5 ingredients or less. I don't really consider herbs and spices part of the ingredient panel. They're flavoring that replaces your artificial flavor in a lot of your food. But those healthy whole foods will fill you up. They help nourish your body. They don't make you feel hungry 5 minutes later. So, knowing what you're consuming is extremely important. Knowing how to replace those pharmaceuticals, again, always consult professionals before doing anything. But if it's something you're interested in, talk to your doctor or a naturopath to get you on the right way.
You also mentioned organic and eating organic. I think, especially when people enter the produce section of the grocery store, they don't really know what to look when it comes to how do I know if I'm getting an organic orange versus a not organic orange? Can you kind of speak on that a little bit?
Yes, a lot of the times the little stickers, the little scanny stickers, if it has a 4 in the front, will tell you it was organically grown. Some stores are really great at promoting their organic produce with these little green signs that will tell you it's organic, or they will segregate it. However, double check what they are spraying on your fruits and vegetables. Those little watering systems aren't just water. You do need to clean every fruit and vegetable that you bring home, organic or not, even if it comes out of your garden, because it's been exposed to the air, it's been exposed to bugs. They do lay eggs on things. So you definitely want to do a nice bath with some sea salt and some baking soda. Give it a good wash and then rinse it off. But the EWG has a clean 15 for produce, so that you know which produce are you should purchase organically and the other ones are safer to consume non-organically. And I would refer you to their website because that changes every single year.
And I think it was very interesting that you mentioned the water that comes out in the produce aisle that most people think clean or are keeping the vegetables fresh. You're saying that that's not the case.
Not always. Some places, and not all. So you can always ask someone who's working in the produce section what is coming out of those. Sometimes it's a fungicide, sometimes it's a pesticide, sometimes it's both, sometimes it's in organic form. Um, for an example, my husband and I were at Fresh Time and we noticed they were spraying the vegetables, and we talked to the gentleman and he was very kind. He went in the back, he got the information, and literally had a conversation with us about it, because it was not the first time he has been asked. So we made that conscious decision to find out what is being sprayed on it before we purchased, and we were good. Same thing with farmers markets, double check.
That's a very interesting topic, is the fact that people are actually asking like that. That's very, very exciting to hear. And what are some of the biggest misconceptions people have when it comes to holistic healing?
They think it's all essential oils and herbal teas. And you can meditate your way through anything, and that's those are some highlights of things that help, but that's not holistic healing in a whole. Holistic healing has to do with you taking control of your health, making the decisions to Seek the proper medical care. Take control. Eat the proper food. Don't be going to fast food. That does not help you at all. Know what you're putting in your body, know what your ingredients are. I see more and more people at the grocery store actually looking at the labels now, whether it's just calories or how many sugars or how many carbs. I don't care. You're at least looking at the label. Just go a little further down and look at those ingredients. Make sure they are aligned with your health. Um, Also, holistic healing is also the type of pharmacology you use. You hit on herbs earlier. Herbs are a great way to help heal holistically. Pharmaceuticals can have some pretty nasty side effects, and as you take one, you take another, they have a tendency to compound in the body. So it's not just food, it's your practitioners, it's also the way your body moves and the kinetics and the functionality. And it's also your blood work. So what your blood work shows you can tell a lot. And the good thing is we have a lot of people in this area that can help with all of
Yes.
those things.
Can you talk about the interconnectedness of our hormones?
Sure. Your hormones are regulated by cholesterol and sugar for the most part. So you need to have a healthy cholesterol system in place in your body, A, for brain function, and B, for hormone production. They are also linked to insulin resistance. So the more insulin resistant your body is, the harder it is for certain hormones to be produced or to come into play. And if you are not just consuming products, but also applying products such as makeup or
Yes.
lotion that contain something what we call xenoestrogens, which technically means fake estrogen or foreign estrogen. But yeah, it binds to your estrogen receptors in your body. So then your body's not producing the proper amount of hormones it needs. And estrogen can play into melatonin, it can play into your androgens, it can play into testosterone, your progesterone. It has a hand in a lot of different things.
And I think one thing I learned through fasting and what you actually brought up was insulin resistance.
Yes.
Can you talk about why insulin resistance is important?
Absolutely. So, your liver is one of your most important organs in your body. And when your liver and pancreas are not functioning properly because you're eating high fructose corn syrup, you're not consuming the proper vitamins and minerals, you're eating way too much processed sugar, it sends that out of whack. So, what happens is your body starts to overcompensate by putting the glucose in your liver. Then you can't store proper minerals or vitamins in there, your fat solubles, A, D, E, and K. You start having cortisol levels get out of whack, which then starts interfering with your sleep. It starts putting you in fight or flight mode. You're in your stress fight mode all the time. You're not in rest and relax. So, knowing what certain foods do to your body and how they play into your hormones really helps a lot when you're trying to help heal certain things like sleep issues, hormone imbalances, especially in women when you're having hot flashes or menopause. And, men have their own testosterone drops as well and need to make sure that they are staying on top of that too.
And if you could ban one ingredient that is in the food that we eat today in America, what would that be?
High fructose corn syrup, all the way.
Why?
It is not just a GMO. The fructose in there is the chemical total portion of it. It's very hard for your body to break down. So excess sugar in your body all the time. Then the glucose is super easy to break down and goes and gets stored right in your liver. It's in every cereal. It's in every breakfast food we give our children. It creates hyperactivity. It also does a lot of damage to the arteries, which then cholesterol gets the blame for damaging the arteries. But cholesterol's not the actual damaging function. The damaging function is the chemicals in the food, high fructose corn syrup being one, artificial sweeteners is the other one, and they kind of go hand in hand. They create the damage that goes on, and your cholesterol shows up to repair that. So if we can take those damagers out, that's less damage being done to your body. That's less addiction to sweetness that people are feeding into. That's less cancer cells people are feeding into. If that is the one thing I could get rid of, it would be that right there.
I have two more questions for you.
Absolutely.
If you could have dinner with two people, one person from the past and one person from the present, who would it be and why?
That is a very hard question because there are so many great people from the past, but hmm, I'm not really sure on that. I really don't know. But for current people, I think I would like to sit down with the author of the Intermittent Fasting 45 book and have a really great conversation about all of that. Her name is Cynthia. I cannot think of her last name right now. I do have her book. I am halfway through it and I'm very intrigued with it. I would love to sit down with her and have a conversation about intermittent 45 or intermittent fasting, how it plays to each person, and how it can actually heal and help people regulate their
Yeah.
body, including that insulin resistance.
Yes. And for the past, what's the first person that comes to mind for you?
Honestly, I would take any Native American hands down. I want them to walk me around in the past of what this place was like before we all messed it up.
Yes.
I would love to see the natural beauty that America was. I think that would be um, very centering.
I agree with you. I think it's very interesting. I think even if you go back farther of like the first human that was on Earth, of like what was it like? Like what was it like to breathe the air? Like what was it like to be
How much cleaner
in
was
the
it?
moment? Yeah, exactly. Like what
Yes.
were you more connected?
Oh, absolutely.
Just like all these questions of like what is it like without all these distractions that we don't even know are affecting us?
Yes, I agree with that 100%. I mean, we wear shoes every single day with rubber soles, which literally disconnect us from the electromagnetivity of the earth, which you do need. So, taking your shoes off, walking around outside, going into the sunlight, taking walks in the forest, and, hugging trees are very, very good for the body. They reset your center. They give you electrons from the environment that your body needs to kind of help flush out the bad stuff. It really helps a lot.
I have one more question for you.
Absolutely.
If or not if, why did you decide to partner with us and offer the discounts?
Because I feel it is important for people to understand their health and have a way that is affordable to get healthy. So it's not just for consultation services. I also sell product. I make a tallow lotion for the face. I make tallow lip balm, and I love both of those products. I also make an all natural deodorant, an all natural face oil, and I do have all natural laundry soap and dishwasher pods available. And I'm working on a sunscreen and a bigger version of the tallow lotion for the body because it's important to have your skin hydrated just as much as it is everything else.
Well, we appreciate you and you tr- trusting us early on in the process. So thank you for that.
Thank you. I appreciate the time.
Yes, those are the questions I have for you.
All right.
How can people find you? And what is one thing you want to leave people with?
You can find me on Facebook, Grand Rising Wellness. I also have an email. You can get a hold of me at grandrisingwellness@outlook.com, or you can always text me. My phone number is 419-345-0878.
Perfect. Well, Stacy, thanks for coming on.
Thank you, Easton.